Hey everyone, welcome to another Brandable Minute. Today we're going to talk about the skill sets that I thought or believed, and yeah, some of them are still valid, that I needed to have in order to tell effective stories. Now, before I just thought it was, these skill sets for branding, but it's actually bigger than that. So actually do this right now. Go online or, just go ahead and Google, you're already online. Go ahead and Google skills for branding, and the majority of the lists that you will see or the sites that you'll see are talking about brand managers, right? And a lot of them have soft skills that are necessary. But, in order to be a person that's well balanced in storytelling, I think you need both. And so here's when I say soft and hard skills, that's what I mean by both. So here's what I believe that I needed at the time, and we can go through that. Now, before we do, I just want us to recap what we talked about yesterday. You can obviously just go back to the previous session, but I want to talk about, remember, the three core tasks that I kind of broke down what my brand narrative freelance business was going to be about. And three things. The first one was researching. The second was developing, and the third one was marketing. Okay, and I actually continue to refine this thing, guys, and refine it and refine it. So I'm not going to go over this again. I wish I came across this page yesterday, but I'm just going to give you this nice little recap here. So with the researching, it's creating a profile. With the developing, it's creating a paradigm, and then with the marketing, it's actually publishing. It's the tangible stuff. And so once again, for researching, you're doing the stories by listening, documenting, and analyzing through qualitative research design. Okay. Through the developing, that's the paradigm of the narratives, you're leveraging, reinterpreting, and transforming through brand narrative development. And then I also say specifically what you're using for those things. And then through the public, you know what, guys? I think it's probably going to be best for me to write this out so that you can actually see this. So let's go ahead and do this, because I think once you get a refresher on what we were talking about as far as yesterday, you then will have a better understanding as to why. And yep, I got to share the screen here, as to why the required skill sets is the ones that I chose. Okay, so give me 1 second here. Let's take a look. Okay. All right. So here's what it looks like, guys. So we talked about these three core tasks, right? And so see here if it's just gonna cooperate with me. So we have that's supposed to be an L, profile. Then there's a paradigm, and then there's the publishing. This is the tangible stuff that you need to do, right? And now underneath this, you have research. Remember, this is, in order to change the culture, you need to change the stories or refine the stories. That's what this is. Developing, and then marketing. So this is the way that I broke this down. Research, develop, and market. So there shouldn't be a ing there. Okay. Now, what does that mean? What are you researching? You got to research the stories. You're developing a narrative, and you're marketing your brand. And then there's the paradigm, guys, the things that you're going to listen. Yeah, my handwriting is atrocious. You're going to document. You're going to analyze. These are like the key activities that you're going to be doing in these things. This is kind of similar to the business model. You're going to leverage here the business model canvas. You're going to reinterpret. I'm just going to put reinterpret, and then transforming. Okay. Now here, you're going to link, you're going to write, and storyboard. Okay. So as you can see, we're using these as the particular activities. These are your key activities that you're doing under each one. And this is what you're actually targeting. Okay. Remember, there's a difference between story and narrative. All right. Now, after you get these key activities, you got to figure out, well, how are you going to do that? Like, what are you going to use for that? You need a particular container to put it in. So for this one, it was qualitative research. There is actually something called qualitative research design. Under this one, it was what I was going to call, or what I called, brand narrative development. And under this one, guys, this is for you guys to take. Like, this is, I mean, this has been in this book for so long. Somebody's going to benefit from this. Content marketing strategies. Okay. So now that you've got your container, oh man, let's see if we can, I don't like when it does that. Okay, guys, give me 1 second here. We talked about brand narrative development, and I guess that's why people don't go live all the time, right? Content marketing, because you just want to get the content and get out, right? Oh man. Okay, well, it looks like it's giving us trouble. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and let's get out of this right quick, guys, and then we're gonna come right back in. Beautiful OneNote, gotta love it. So this is where we are. Where the next thing is, you have very particular tools that you can now use in order to actually make this work. So, and I'm gonna give you an example here, and hopefully this will cooperate with us this time around. So I'm just gonna write this, and let's just see if it. Okay, so this is good. I wonder if it was the color. Okay, so anywho, so we've got brand. Let's try this one more time. Narrative development. Not sure why it's acting like that, but okay. And then we have content marketing. Okay, just call it content marketing strategy. All right. Now, oh, that's because we're using a marker now. Okay, so now that we've got that, what we're going to do is you got to look at some things. So, for instance, using qualitative research design, you have a narrative research study. And what that means, and what that was looking like for me, was in-depth interviews. It was looking like questionnaires. These are things that you're asking people in order to build your case, in order to build the stories. You got to ask questions. Here's the other one: for leveraging, reinterpreting, and transforming the narrative. After you're doing the research, you got to frame it. So I put here hero's journey was one. I put here story wars. That's Jonas Sachs. For those of you that don't know Jonas Sachs, he was a genius in writing this book. I also put Man in the Hole. So here it is, where with Kurt Vonnegut, he has these story sketches, story branding. I think this is Joe Signorelli. Okay, so there are frameworks that you can use in order to actually make this work. The 3-act structure, there's so many different ways. Okay, guys. And then underneath this one, the tangible way, how are we linking and writing and storyboarding? Let's make it real specific. Blogging, ebooks, postcards, elevator speeches, anything that's going to get the word out. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. Keynotes. So that's what this was. So now that we're looking at this, it begs the question: so what is it going to take to be able to do all of this? How can you amass the skills? What the how is different, but what do you need? So here's what I wrote down, and I don't think that we need the board for this. So we're just going to go ahead and switch. Oh wow, wait, I didn't even share these things with you guys. Oh my goodness. My apologies. I thought I actually shared it. So let me go ahead and share the screen just so that you can see it while I'm talking. Okay, how about that? Okay, so what we're actually looking at here, and this is just for those of you who can just kind of take a look at my handwriting. So after you have the qualitative research design, narrative research study includes in-depth interviews, questionnaires, right? From here, creating Your brand narrative, what are you going to use? Well, you're going to use the hero's journey, story wars, Kurt Vonnegut's story structures, his drawings, story branding, Joe Signorelli, the 3 act structure, and then specific ways. How are you going to actually content market? It's getting the word out there, even if it's direct mailing, right? So that's the whole goal here. Okay, so now that we've got a look at that, here are some of the tasks, guys, the specific tasks, skills, I should say. The first one was creative writing. I wrote here, I have to become ridiculously good at creating stories, internalizing the 3 acts to a story, hero's journey, scene elements, story elements, plot, setting, etc., and create it very quickly. Okay, so that was one of the things that I believe that was necessary in order to be able to tell stories. You got to know some of the story frameworks. Here's the next one, qualitative research. I have to be able to quickly and deeply create research topics and problems to focus entire research efforts on. That was another one. So here, I really had this emphasis on speed to be able to be in a room and to, as people are talking, kind of frame these things out. Number 3, content marketing. I need to be a master at cranking out content, valuable content, no exceptions, lots of it, more effective, and I put your quicker at research. So once again, speed. I want it to be in depth, but I also wanted to be quick at doing it. Number 4, branding, which is very generic way of saying, a generic way of explaining it, but I need to know brand management. And it's so interesting that I actually put brand management here, as we talked about. If you put in the skills for branding, you're going to get brand management skills. And then it says strategy from the inside out. So not just brand management, but brand strategy. Here's another one, marketing. I've got to get a thorough understanding of the marketing beyond the 4 Ps. See if I can remember the 4 Ps: positioning, pricing. Oh man, Professor's gonna kill me because I can't even remember the last 2. But there are the 4 Ps to marketing, and here's the 4th one, or the 6th one, is copywriting, persuasive content that sales and CEO need to become best friends, my best friends. Headlines. I also wrote here David Ogilvy, call to actions, simplicity, and kind of on and on. And then the one before that was marketing, was another one. I've got to get a thorough understanding. Oh, I think I already talked about that, of the 4 Ps. Okay, so that's what those 6 areas was about. And that's very generic, but back then, that's exactly what I believed I needed. Now, and this is for storytelling. Now, here's the thing though. You can look at any one of these and just go deep into just using one to become an effective storyteller. But the point is, at the end of the day, even if you do qualitative research, you're going to need to take all of that data, you're going to need to take all of that information and frame it into an actual story structure. No one's going to care until it can flow in a way that they can understand the narrative. Same thing with branding. Okay, so now that you have a story, how does the story differentiate from all of the other stories that are out there? All right, copywriting. Is somebody going to be able to find it effectively? Is somebody going to be able to find it, period, if you don't effectively write the story with particular keywords and call to actions, maybe if it's a buying decision that they have to make? So that's those are the 6 required skill sets. I probably should have let out with that first so that we didn't go through the entire review, but that's the beauty of going live. We're able to grow with this thing, and hopefully we can do that together. Yeah, hoping that this was helpful for you guys. Remember, you don't have to follow the 6. These are the 6 that I was looking at from like 2012, 2013. Things change, right? But some of the core elements are the same. You got to understand, have some level of knowledge of branding, some level of it, right? For differentiation. Remember, branding is a promise. What are you promising in the story? You got to have some understanding of what creative writing is about. You don't have to be the creative writer. And I think this is the last thing that I'll share. This is probably going to be the longest one, is that longest brandable minute, is that you don't have to do all of these things. You can find the people. Eventually, that's what you're going to want to do. You can find the people who can create the story structure, the person who can do the research, the person who can brand out the story that you've actually created, the campaign or whatever it is, the person who knows how to market it effectively. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful for you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.